Today we will be studying about Jacobi method. Unlike the other two methods that we have studied earlier for solving the simultaneous equations, here what we are going to do is an iterative method. We are following the working rule is something related to what we have studied in Newton-Raphson's method, but it is an iterative method rather than changing the whole system of equations into metrics. We follow an iteration method. Okay, so let's see the working rule. Now let us assume that these three are our system of equations. I hope now you are familiar with our system of linear equations, so I'm not going to repeat that again. So the conditions here to be checked is that the coefficients of x, y and z, that is if this is the first linear equation, the coefficients are a1, b1 and c1, and what we have to check is that in the first equation a1 should be greater than the sum of the other two coefficients, that is b1 and c1. Okay, so most probably whenever you get a problem regarding the Jacobi method, the system of equations will be given in such a way that these conditions will be almost satisfied. If these conditions are satisfied, then you can go for a Jacobi method. So yeah, so if this is the first equation, then the coefficient of x is given as a1, and that is greater than the sum of b1 plus c1. So here I have put a modulus sign, so that means that I'm not interested in the positive or negative signs of the coefficient. I'm only interested in the magnitude of the coefficient. Okay, so when I come to the second equation, here the condition will be that modulus b2, that is the coefficient of y, should be greater than the other two coefficients, that is a2 plus c2, the sum of a2 plus c2. And when it comes to the third equation, c3, the coefficient of z, should be greater than a3 plus b3. Okay, now after the condition is being checked, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for x, y and z. And for solving for x, y and z from the system of equation that I have written earlier, I'm going to keep x on one side and take all the other elements to the right side, so that I get x is equal to 1 by a1 in brackets d1 minus b1y minus c1z. So this is my first equation, and similarly I will find out y and z. Okay, now after that we start our iterations. So our initial values are x, y and z. The initial values that we give is 0, and these values are substituted in equations 1, 2 and 3. Now what are the equations 1 and 2 and 3? These are the equations 1, 2 and 3. So here what I'm going to do is, in 1 I will be substituting the value of y and z. Okay, so that I could find out what is x. So y and z I have given 0, so that z is x is equal to what, d1 by a1. Then in the case of y, I will be substituting the values of x and z. Now I have already said the initial values of x and z is what, 0, so it will be d2 by b2. Then here it will be d3 by c3. Okay, so that is how we are going to solve for x, y and z. Now the iterations, we will check how to do the iteration and when to stop the iterations. Okay, so we get our first iterations as, so our first iteration is denoted as, after applying this x, y and z in 1, 2 and 3 equations 1, 2 and 3, sorry, our first iterations that we get is as follows. You can write like this: x1, y1 and z1. So these are the first iterations. Now with that we won't be stopping, we will do the second iteration. So what I do is, after getting x1, y1 and z1, I put back these values in the equation 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and then I will find out what is my values that I get for my second iteration. So I put back into 1, 2 and 3, and then I get the second iteration or approximate values as x2, y2 and z2. And then iteration 3 will also happen in a similar way, and so on till what, that is what we are going to find out. So the final condition I would like to reveal it when we do a problem. Okay, so let's move on to a problem. Now this is the system of equations that is given to us. So 27x plus 6y minus z is equal to 85. 6x plus 15y plus 2z is equal to 72. X plus y plus 54z is equal to 110. Now, according to our working rule, we have to find out whether the three conditions are being satisfied by these system of equations. So, in the first case, the first equation, you can see that 27 is the coefficient of x. So, it is very much clear that the coefficient of x is greater than the sum of the other two coefficients, that is 6 and 1. So, 6 plus 1 is 7. Anyways, 27 is greater than 7. So, yeah, so that I have worked it out. So 27 is greater than the other two coefficients. Similarly, I'm going to check the second equation. So here my coefficient for y is 15, and 15 is clearly greater than 6 and 2, the sum of 6 and 2. Then 54 is greater than 1 and 1. Okay, I mean the sum of 1 plus 1. So the conditions are satisfied. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for x, y and z. So keeping from the first equation, I will get an from the first system of equations, I will get what is x. So, and from the second I will get what is y, and from the third I will get what is z. So let's see how I have arranged it. I kept the x over here and took all the other elements to the right side, and I marked it as equation A. Then similarly y and z. So these are my equations A, B and C. Okay, fine. So what is my next step? My next step is obviously I would like to give an initial value for x, y and z. And the initial value for x, y and z, as I told you in the working rule, it is 0. I have assigned it as 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the values of x, y and z in A, B and C. And then I will get my first iteration as x1 is equal to 85 by 27, which is equal to 3.148. y1 is equal to 72 by 15, which is equal to 4.8. z1 is equal to 110 by 54, which is equal to 2.037. Okay, so if you have any confusions right now, you can go back to your A, B and C, and then do the substitution, and you find out whether you are getting these values for your first iteration. Now you are not going to stop here. We are moving towards the second iteration. Now that we have x1, y1 and z1, according to the working rule, our second iteration would be what? I will be substituting these values, that is x1, y1 and z1, in your A, B and C. So as I have written over here, second iteration is that you have to substitute the values of x1, y1 and z1 in the equations A, B and C. So I just substituted the values over here. In the place of x, I have substituted 4.80, and yeah, and then finally I got the value to 0.157. Okay, so again this you can just check with yourself, I mean check it, and then similarly I got the value for y2. I'm really sorry. Okay, and then I got the value for z2. Okay, so here x2 is 2.157, y2 is 3.269 and z2 is 1.89. Now the next thing that you have to do is the third iteration. Now in the third iteration you have to substitute the values of the previous iterations, right? That is x2, y2 and z2 in equations A, B and C, and check whether what you are getting. So you are getting 2.492, 3.685 and 1.937. Now you will be wondering when you will be stopping this iteration. So see, in the second iteration you got the value 2.157 for x, and in the third iteration it is 2.492. There is no similarity with this. Okay, these two numbers are a bit different. Also y2 and z2 are also different. So you can stop the iterations when your previous value for x and the present value for x, similarly the previous value for y, the present value for y, and also it's the case in z. If both are equal, then you can stop the iteration. Since these two are not the same, I'm moving forward with an iteration, and let me check whether they are equal. So the fourth iteration, the value is 2.401, which is not similar to x3. Y4, it is 3.545, again it is not similar. Z4 is 1.925. Okay, so that is not also same with the case of Z3. So I will have to take another iteration, that is fifth iteration. Now how did I get the fifth iteration? I substituted the values of x4, y4 and z4 in the equations capital A, B and C. So fifth iteration, I got it as 2.432, 3.583 and 1.927. So let me see, again it's not the same, but somewhere it is coming closer. Okay, the first decimal points are all the same. Okay, now let's see, it will take one more iteration. um, it is for in the sixth iteration, 2.423, 3.57, 1.927. Okay, now I'm going to take the seventh iteration. Now you can see that sixth and seventh iteration, the numbers are same. So see, this is not an exact value or the accurate value of x. I won't comment like that, because this is an iteration, so we are getting only the approximate value. Whereas in Gauss elimination method and Gauss-Jordan method, it was different. We get an accurate value over there, because we were not doing any kind of iterations. Okay, so here in this case, it is not the exact value. We would like to say it as it is an approximate value for x, y and z. So since these two iterations, the numbers have the numbers have been same, we say that finally we say that the value of x is 2.423, the value of y is 3.57 and the value of z is 1.926. So I haven't written over here the final solution, I mean final concluding line, so that you can fill up. I hope you have understood about the Jacobi's method. Thank you.